Papa, how's the audio? The audio looks adequate. We are editing Serenity 2. I should just call this editing Firefly episode 1. And so I did. Episode 1. There we go. Too many cooks. Okay. Hello. Welcome. Writing about Firefly is an even more intimidating challenge compared to, say, the first seasons of Buffy or Angel. Where those two shows felt like they took a lot of time to evolve and find their voices, Firefly comes out of the gate fully formed, lived in, and realized. That may be due in part to its early cancellation. Hey, Apollo. Welcome, and thank you. I'm glad you dig the guides. Sorry they come out so slowly. Hello! Welcome, everyone. If this is your first World's Most Boringest live stream, you have to fall asleep. A lot of time. Never mind. Time to evolve and find their voices. Firefly comes out of the gate fully formed, lived in, and realized. That may be due in part to its early cancellation, and that we never got to see the evolution of the writing. What if the first season of Buffy was all we got? But I don't think it's that simple. From the first episode, this is a very complex universe with a wide array of detailed characters. Unlike a Buffy or an Angel, where most of the characters... Yes, John. If you want to come over and apply the plastic lightsaber whip, you are welcome to. Characters are... But not in like a hot way. Well, maybe. It's been a long time. Meeting for the first time, and the characters are figuring each other out. As the writers are figuring them out, the characters of Firefly have a history with each other. Every scene is layered with many complex interactions. Even Joss Whedon himself said that he poured many of the... That's... okay. Yes. So we need to... It's gonna be fun somehow. What was I doing? New volume, season 0. That's what we're doing. So, bring in season 0 there. It is so hot up here. Season 1. Hi, Jade. Welcome. Serenity deleted scene. Joss Whedon sings the Firefly song. Take me where I cannot stand. I don't care. I'm still free. Tour of Serenity.
How it makes us feel in a scene is as important as what the characters are doing. We just
That was Joss. He looks like a young boy without facial hair. Kind of like the way I look without facial hair. He has more of a chin than I do, and a little less weight. Although, he's looking like he's got the same kind of alcohol weight now. I'm sure divorce is difficult. That got dark. Alright, let's just do the tour. A tour of Serenity. There we go.
Action! This is my ship.
His ship. You can tell how much he identifies with Mal. interactions. Even Joss Whedon himself said that he poured many of the lessons he learned from show-running previous shows into this one. Even Joss Whedon himself said that he poured many interactions. Even Joss Whedon himself said that he poured many of the This is my ship. Volume down, please. Interactions. Even Joss Whedon himself said that he poured many of the lessons he learned from show-running previous shows into this one. As such, there is immediately a lot to cover. We could probably spend several videos alone just talking about Inara. It's a lot. But before I dive in, I wanted to introduce everyone new to the channel to the way these videos work. Before I dive in, I wanted to introduce everyone new to the channel to the way these videos work. Let's see. Exports. I do loveth the Go Fish video. But before I dive in, I wanted to dive in. With the introduce everyone new to the channel to the way these videos work. The episode guides are okay. Every time you fast forward with the sound on, it makes me double take at this window. I think my Bluetooth speakers are acting up again. Sorry about that. By default. These videos work. The episode guides are not intended to be a comprehensive retelling of every episode. Oh, I need the movie. Yeah, that was another thing I needed to import. Just a moment. There's no crickets now, not in this new place. But I do have buttons.
Is everyone here very stoned?
And this PC. Bill, this is a live stream I do where I actually edit the videos for the channel on stream. I call it World's Most Boringest Live Stream because editing is a slow, tedious process. But people seem to like to hang out and chat with each other about the show, and I try and answer questions and stuff while I work as best as I can. Series, Firefly, Serenity the movie. Grabbing it off the network server, just a moment. Hello, Boris. Why is that so slow? That's what she said? Sorry about that.
Well, my days of not taking you seriously are certainly coming to a middle.
These are lives buttons. Yes, we do. We definitely do. Oh, good one. Y'all didn't happen to do a bunch of drugs. Weird how that one lines up with very stoned. Hold on. I need to keep a to-do list of these. Add task, buttons. I'm copying a file over that you guys can't see, hence no editing. Just a moment. And the other one was lies. A button that makes a red arrow point to your face in the corner. Oh, that's a good one. Actually, we could just do that now. I wonder if I could... yeah, I could animate it easily with an alpha channel. I'm guessing the video isn't very compatible with taking most drugs. So I'll add a couple each stream. I added 2 new ones this time. I have watched, I do need, well, the donate thing is that's what this is for. But donations tend to dry up when you don't publish, and I get it. So I need to get cranking. I am in front of a green screen. There's a backlight. Right, let's try it without the backlight, actually. Oh, that's actually better. Except I've got... my face is all washed out. Oh. How do we balance that out? More light from there? Well, it's no big deal. I just look bright and pasty. So it's realistic. Okay, Serenity the movie. Import that. There we go. Oh, why is the aspect ratio screwed up? Modify, interpret footage, square pixels, HD anamorphic. That's better, right? But it's slightly too wide. Is it? No, that looks correct to me. Okay. The backlight gives you some more white glare on the background, but without it, your square is tinted gray. Oh yeah, that's probably the greens. Yeah, that's why you have the light on that screen. Here, we'll try something else. Hold on. Nope, that's worse. I need a diffuser. That's okay. We're gonna live with that. And that kind of lessens the glare a little bit on my face. Okay. No, that's a spoiler. That's a super spoiler. Aww. And gross, River. Get her. Let them have their space. Man, when we get to the end of this, I'm definitely doing a stream where we watch the Firefly movie together. And then maybe do the episode guide right after. That would be fun. Da-da-da. Da-da. That's the 5.1 channel, you don't say. I just want to lower the volume on it. Let's do it without. So delete, drag, drop, move, unlink, scoochie boochie. Nope, put that back. There we are. Channel to the way these videos work. The episode guides are not intended to be a comprehensive retelling of every episode. All the great lines and the best scenes. All the great lines and the best scenes. That seem right to you?
And I won't touch you in any wrong fashion.
That's a weird one to say. Best scenes. You ever been shot? There it is.
But they don't make a surgeon get cut on. That seem right to you?
Definitely fits with best lines. Not intended to be a comprehensive retelling of every episode. All the great lines and the best scenes. For that, you should just go and watch the show. If they revive Firefly, would it have to be a new series that takes place 30 years later with a mostly new cast? I don't know that it would work. The more I think about the show, the more I... it's so heavily based on Mal, especially structurally. That seem right to you is going to pop up a lot. Yeah, that should be a shirt. Hi, Kate. Welcome, welcome. Do you think it's a good idea to have someone start watching Buffy with the movie first so to get the backstory? No. The first season is hard enough. If there's someone who you think are going to be, dig in and commit, then I think start with season 1 and then you go back and watch the movie. But if you think it's kind of like loosey-goosey, you do the 4-episode watch of the first season, which is the pilot and the second part of the pilot, Angel and Lie to Me. So, episode 1, episode 2, episode 7, sorry, not Lie to Me, Prophecy Girl, episode 12, to get them through the first season. That's the shortcut. Hello, the Gargantuan Apple. I don't think we've seen you here in quite a long time. Videos work. The episode guides are not intended to be a comprehensive retelling of every episode. All the great lines and the best scenes. For that, you should just go and watch the show. That's what we were doing. Oh, this file. I cannot deal with the slowdowns with this file today. So, and since I forgot to re-encode it, we're just going to grab the lower grade version of the episode. It's going to be subject to YouTube compression anyway. Yeah. Yeah, the people who like the first season generally all say it's camp fun. And that the key word, definitely camp. Going to Chicago today to see... Ah, Jess, I didn't know that happened. I feel terrible. Nothing. We're copying a file over right now. Copy. You should just go and watch the show. My ultimate desire is getting at what Firefly is about. No, not objects in space. Out of gas. River staring at the twig's a good one. There's the volume knob. You should just go and watch the show. My ultimate desire is getting at what Firefly is about. There we go. My ultimate desire is comprehensive retelling of every episode, all the great lines and the best scenes. My ultimate desire, yes, let's use that objects. Objects. I wasn't doing a weird accent there. That came out wrong. Man, live streaming is dangerous. Oh, don't crash. Come on. Man, these encodes I did are all over the map. So finally something to listen to while I run delivering food for DoorDash. Well, hello. I will try and keep a regular stream and of talking and not get all quiet. So that, because you don't have this sweet, sweet visual going on right here.
Is everyone here very stoned?
Who's my favorite character? Wash. If not Wash... sorry, Mal. If not Mal, then, Zoe. Episode. All the great lines and the best scenes. I love that shot. That's one of my favorites. Okay. It's just an object. It doesn't mean what you think. Gee, I wonder which episode I'm most excited to talk about in Firefly. I think we should call it your grave.
This land.
I think we should.
How does one bend like that? Learn to dance.
Call it your.
Oh, no, God.
Yeah, everyone knows River's appearance in Angel, right? For that, you should just go and watch the show. scenes. For that, you should just go and watch. Toby!
Hello, cutie.
Hi! The Serenity movie, I liked it. You know, would I have rather have had another season that did everything the movie did? Yeah, of course, but I felt like the movie was satisfying enough that it closed it, resolved things to a satisfactory degree. To be a comprehensive retelling of every episode, all the great lines and the best scenes. For that, you should just go and watch the show. My ultimate desire is getting at what Firefly is about. What does it have to say about its universe, and in what ways are those say about its universe? What does it?
It's just an object.
Heart of Gold. What does it have to say about its universe? Out of gas, Ariel. Jane. Oh, Janestown. Yeah. The movie made me sad. I was looking forward to an audience sing along of the theme song. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Felt like the big spectacle of the movie was kind of a betrayal of the show's idea that the journey was more important and you just had to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Well, I mean, that's why I think the end... I think it's difficult to balance theme with spectacle, certainly, especially when your themes are very, I guess, existential in nature. That's not Janestown. There we go. Let's have him. That's a good one, him standing in front of the... It doesn't mean what you think it means. But I thought the movie did as good a job as they could have. That was the feeling it left me with. Lines and the best scenes. For that, you should just go and watch the show. My ultimate desire... Is there a flash frame there? No. My ultimate desire is getting at what Firefly is about. What does it have to say about its universe, and in what ways are those statements relevant to us and our lives? Statements relevant to us and our lives. But there is no substitute for actually watching the show, and that is not...
Shot or wounded, including yourself, and you're harboring known fugitives.
We're still flying.
We're still flying. It's enough.
We're still flying.
That's not...
That's not much. But there is no substitute for actually watching the show, and that is not my intention with this video series. Actually watching the show, and that is not my intention with this video series. The guide will be written... Blah, blah, blah. The guide will be written non-spoilers so that someone who has spoilers so that nah. Excellent mic work. Heard the pouring. Ah, yes. The Passion of the Nerd ASMR channel. Businessman, see?
Captain Reynolds.
Video series. The guide will be written series. The guide will be written non-spoilers so that someone who hasn't seen the show can watch right after they watch an episode. That shirt?
Please.
I want it.
You're losing the high.
Losing the high ground here. So that someone who hasn't seen the show can watch right after they watch an episode. But I'll try and bring all the threads we've developed together in the final video with the Firefly movie. Together in the final video. Spoiler, 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 spoiler. That guy's not really a spoiler. This... episode, but I'll try and bring all the threads we've developed together in the final video with the Firefly movie. My focus is interpreting the show itself and what material was given us. It's just an object. Firefly movie. My focus is interpreting Firefly movie. My focus is interpreting the show itself and what material was given us. No more, no less. What can we make of the threads that are here? The writers may have intended one thing or another with the various story threads that Where's the reverb bit? There it is.
Understand. You never heard of Reavers? No.
here. The writers may have intended one thing or another with the various story threads that were left behind, but those were never finished. So how can we headcanon what was given? It's gonna get me an ear too. Lonnie!
I'll take away your bucket.
That feels very weird. It's like I'm saying I'm going to take away your bucket, but it's the one you asked for. Hello! Welcome, welcome. I saw the first season of Con Man. I never got to watch the second. No context. Yeah. That are here. The writers may have intended one thing or another with the various story threads that were left behind, but those were never finished. But those were never finished. Oh, that's what we were doing.
Right.
When do I plan on having this video finished? At this point, it is so late. I'm not planning. Just going to try and finish it. So, it's my plan for the rest of today until I have to pick up Jess from the airport. And if it's not done, which seems unlikely, probably tomorrow. That are here. The writers may have intended one thing or another with the various story threads that were left behind, but those were never finished. So how can we headcanon what was given? But those were never finished. Dig the new glass. Very cool. Thank you. Left behind, but those were never finished. So how can we headcanon what was given? 14 episodes in a movie. What was given? 14 episodes in a movie, and that is what the guides will be about. Grabbing a piece of B-roll I need in just a moment. There we go. 14 episodes in a movie, and that is what the guides will be about. Oh, well, we could go... Come on, catch up, Premiere. Premiere. Did we crash? I think we crashed. I discovered the channel because the Buffy remastered video popped up in my feed, and now I'm addicted. Clone yourself and work faster, no pressure. Well, I think cloning me would actually make me worse because the noise and self-doubt would get louder, and there'd be other people there to agree with it. That's that old phenomena of, I mean, I've heard many YouTubers talk about how, you know, the channel's very positive. This is a wonderful community, very great. But few things can, you know, if a YouTuber reads 100 comments and one of them is negative, guess which one they fixate on. Sorry, Premiere's crashing. Just a moment. Let's all wait for Premiere to do its business. There we go. Close the program. Hang on while Windows reports the problem to Microsoft. Push the Premiere button. Sheesh. I need to build a new editing drive. This is intolerable. And I need to re-encode all of these. Lot to do. Yeah, we win. God, I love that bit. His look of non-comprehension is so cool in that. Edit drive, episodes, channel folders, Firefly, Serenity. Okay. And now we take this and we move that up there. I love this intro. I will definitely need to give a bunch of credit on this one. Let's, we get it published. Effects. Key color. Boom! Color tolerance. Yeah. Feather the edge just slightly. There we go. Oh, it looks so good. In a movie, and that is what the guides will be about. Maybe the comic too. Okay. So now we drag that. Too many audio tracks. There's so much energy to it. I don't want the shot to change too early. Let's mess with the order here slightly. And that is what the guides will be about. And that is what the And that is what the guides will be about. Maybe the comic too. Save. Writing about Firefly is an even more intimidating challenge compared to, say, the first seasons of Buffy or Angel. Where those two shows felt like they took a lot of time to evolve and find their voices, Firefly comes out of the gate fully formed, lived in, and realized. That may be due in part to its early cancellation, and that we never got to see the evolution of the writing. What if the first season of Buffy was all we got? But I don't think it's that simple. From the first episode, this is a very complex universe with a wide array of detailed characters. Unlike a Buffy or an Angel, where most of the characters are meeting for the first time and the characters are figuring each other out as the writers are figuring them out, the characters of Firefly have a history with each other. Every scene is layered with many complex interactions. Even Joss Whedon himself said that he poured many of the lessons he learned from show-running previous shows into this one. As such, there is immediately a lot to cover. We could probably spend several videos alone just talking about Inara. It's a lot. But before I dive in, I wanted to introduce everyone new to the channel to the way these videos work. The episode guides are not intended to be a comprehensive retelling of every episode, all the great lines and the best scenes. For that, you should just go and watch the show. My ultimate desire is getting at what Firefly is about. What does it have to say about its universe, and in what ways are those statements relevant to us and our lives? But there is no substitute for actually watching the show, and that is not my intention with this video series. The guide will be written non-spoilers, so that someone who hasn't seen the show can watch right after they watch an episode. But I'll try and bring all the threads we've developed together in the final video with the Firefly movie. My focus is interpreting the show itself and what material was given us, no more, no less. What can we make of the threads that are here? The writers may have intended one thing or another with the various story threads that were left behind, but those were never finished. So how can we headcanon what was given? 14 episodes in a movie, and that is what the guides will be about. Maybe the comic too. Well, we got the intro done. Ah, boy. All right. Onward and upward. Okay, so apparently we're going to need a lot of room. Thank you, Lonnie.
Well, my days of not taking you seriously are certainly coming to a middle.
Okay. We get rid of that cross dissolve too. That was a mistake. That is what the guides will be about. Maybe the comic, too. The series opens... Boy, that is a royalty-free tune we found on YouTube yesterday. And... actually, I think Boris found that on the YouTube library. And I really like it. Really like it. And summary time. Let's do this. Thank you, Kate. No, Serenity is the name of the pilot, and it is also the name of the movie. Which is why I changed the name of this live stream to Editing Firefly Episode 1. The series opens on a heated battle in Serenity Valley between the Browncoats and the Alliance. A small ragtag group of Browncoats being led by Have to take notes for the next Still Dead. Have a great afternoon. Thanks for hanging out. If you ever need a cubicle, buddy, I'm here. Serenity Parts 1 and 2. Oh, the pilot was 90 minutes long. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we're going to have to fix that. Good catch. Ever attempted to show your material to Whedon himself? I have not. I imagine as a creator of stuff like this that has been so heavily analyzed by people over time that he tires of this kind of thing. And I understand. Tim Minear tweeted out both the Why You Should Watch Firefly video and Why You Should Watch Angel. And so I know people involved with the show have seen the content. And Adam Baldwin tweeted out Why You Should Watch Firefly. So, but Joss himself, I'm sure, he's got the make the next thing bug, I imagine. And after Avengers was probably showered with so much adulation and attention, and then much of that negative after the bit with his wife and, the thing that happened with Black Widow in Ultron and all of that, that if I were him, I would, I wouldn't look into, I would avoid stuff like this, honestly. The series opens on... That's got to be a serious ego boost. Ah, you underestimate the volume of self-doubt and nonsense going on in my head. Yeah. No amount of positive reinforcement can counter that volume of self-hatred. The series opens on a heated battle in Serenity Valley between the Browncoats and the Alliance. A small ragtag group of Browncoats being led by Sergeant Malcolm Reynolds are trying to hold the front. The opening gives...
Here's your coat. You're Lieutenant Baker. Congratulations on your promotion. Now get me some air support!
Yeah, I watched a few of the deleted scenes when I massacred all of these encodes. Josh, I appreciate that. That kind of feedback means a lot. Thank you. Coats being led by Sergeant Malcolm Reynolds are trying to hold the front. The opening group... That doesn't work. We can't just jump cut. There we go. Being red like Suckham. So there, use Zoe.
Keeping him on.
High ground is death with that skiff in the air.
That's our problem. Thanks.
Browncoats, being led by Sergeant Malcolm Reynolds, are trying to hold the front. The opening gives us a... Oh, I need the script open. Where are you, script? Hold the front. You hold.
On those arrogant cards, so you hold. You hold!
I believe they said, well, no, they said at some point that he was a sergeant. Josh, hold on. I appreciate the donation. Cheers. Red Bull out of a mug. You're a bachelor. I'm not a bachelor. Are trying to hold the front.
You hold!
You hold! Front.
You hold!
The opening gives us a quick and vivid portrayal of Mal and his second-in-command, Zoe. Mal. Oh, yeah, they say that in this episode. The big war you failed to win. You were sergeant, right? With my British accent. Spot on. Yeah, Crowley says it to him. You hold. Malcolm Reynolds are trying to hold the front.
You hold!
The opening gives us a quick and vivid portrayal of Mal and his second-in-command, Zoe. Mal. Man Zoe, Mal, and his faith.
Even need to
You hold.
ask?
Mal, and his faith, humor, and courage. Boy, it feels weird to be doing a different show. Finally. I have lost so much momentum these past couple weeks.
Really think we can bring her? Really think we can bring her down, sir?
You even need to ask?
Add to frame. Hold, please. Thank you. Russell, hey man, how you doing? Let's give you a button. You get this one.
Well, my days of not taking you seriously are certainly coming to a middle.
But I mean it with love and positivity. I'm fine. Getting work done.
Ask?
You know, the cross looks an awful lot like the one. Best actor? Oh, they're all so good. What's her name? I think Gina Torres is probably the best actress on the show. But, you know, Fillion got the best stuff. Editing. It's kind of like going on a diet to lose 10 pounds. Takes forever, but when you're done, it'll bring a smile to one's face. Yeah. That's actually pretty spot on. Slow and steady. So, where... There it is. But she's already wearing the cross, so he gave it to her. Is this where he gives her the cross? It's not the same cross, but I don't care, because I like my stupid theory here.
The truth is, I thought you'd be taller, or bigger muscles.
Pretty spry, though.
Turned your back on this.
Oh, I did double check, Boris. Besides, I didn't write that line. I'm not the only writer on this video series, so I'm not going to cut everything. And courage.
Really?
Courage.
Really think we can bring her down, sir?
You even need to ask?
You know, the cross looks an awful lot like the one Angel gave Buffy. Are Firefly and Buffy in the same universe? And Earth got used up by all the damn vampires? All the damn vampires. That is a reference, which I'm sure everyone knows.
Each one terror.
Yeah, I know, Boris. I did. And decided to leave that line in anyway. Are Firefly and Buffy in the same universe? And Earth got used up by all the damn vampires? Wonder if potentials exist in this universe as well. But
Slept for so long.
I am very smart.
Ask?
You know, the cross looks an awful lot like the one Angel gave Buffy. Are Firefly and Buffy in the same universe? And Earth got used up by all the damn vampires? Wonder if potentials exist in this universe as well. But Mal's faith is not rewarded in Serenity Valley Falls. Oh, All the Damn Vampires is a reference to the Lost Boys. There's one thing I don't like about living in Santa Clara. All the damn vampires. Mal's faith is not rewarded. I thought about that. I don't want to go too deep on the Buffy stuff, because presumably there will be people watching this that haven't watched Buffy at some point. So that's another thing, a reason to why I'm cross-pollinating, is to kindle interest in pursuing the other episode guides, especially stuff that's more longer on down the line, I guess. An awful lot like the one Angel gave Buffy. Are Firefly and Buffy in the same universe? And Earth got used up by all the damn vampires? Wonder if potentials exist in this universe as well. But Mal's faith is not rewarded in Serenity Valley Falls. Well, but Mal's faith is not rewarded in Serenity Valley Falls. Russell, yeah, I don't disagree. Although, I'm sure there are people... How many people do we have in the stream? I count 18. I bet there are people in the stream who have not watched all of Angel. So, you know. And Earth got used up by all the damn vampires? Wonder if potentials exist in this universe as well. But Mal's faith is not rewarded in Serenity Valley Falls. 6 years later, he is leading a small crew of scavengers consisting of Ooh, this is going to take a while. Six years later, he is leading a small crew of scavengers consisting of Jane. Apparently, Firefly had gone on to a 5th season. Josh wanted Spike to make a cameo just in a bar and say something about how the more things change, the more they say the same. Consisting of that would be interesting. Jane, Zoe.
Give me the sticky.
Give me a sticky. Not in a weird way. Zoe. This land. There she is. Zoe. Wash and
Now die!
Kaylee. The Wash and Kaylee. The alliance.
Shua, go in dark.
And now I can't get down. Consisting of Jane, Zoe, Wash, and Kaylee. The alliance happens upon them, goes... Go away, cat. And save. At least Premiere is being a Jerry today. Yeah, it only crashed once. I need to re-encode all of my Blu-ray rips. But I kept all of the rips this time in a folder on that server. And I'm going to probably buy a new high-speed drive to edit off of after I'm done with the stream to fix this problem. The alliance happens upon them. When do we see them? The Dortmunder. Couldn't find any significance of that. The alliance happens upon them. Let's see if we can do that without Dortmunder popping up. Where's the cat? Oh, she's sitting in front of the heat light. Oh, pish posh. Roar. Ugh. You're so big. Should we pose for our album cover? Boop, boop, boop. Yes, she's very docile. Well, she's also very full of food at the moment, so... Not very... doesn't object to much. Of Jane, Zoe, Wash, and Kaylee. The alliance happens upon them, goes to attack, but the crew baits to attack. Cry, baby, cry. I'm reticent to even use a second of a Beatles tune. Oh, interesting. I will have to capture that. Thank you, Josh. Definitely a detail we both missed. And Kaylee. The Alliance happens upon them, goes to attack, but the crew...
No point in checking for survival.
Just curious if you will be watching the new Picard series. I still have not watched the new... I haven't watched Discovery. I'm definitely that nerd, that hashtag not my Star Trek nerd, with the new Star Trek stuff. So I may wait. If we see, you know, lots of lens flares and the new style of Klingons in trailers for the show, then I'm probably out. The other thing, Patrick has finally started to age. So, but if it's, I don't know, I don't know. Bringing him back at this point feels a little odd, especially with the mixed up timelines and all of that stuff. I hope it's good. But I am apprehensive. Yeah, they haven't explained enough about it for me to know whether I'm going to watch it or not. It's not an automatic for me. DS9 was in the, TNG universe, and still have not watched all of that. Consisting of Jane, Zoe, Wash, and Kaylee. The Alliance happens upon them, goes to attack, but the crew baits them.
Engaging the crybaby.
And the other thing, too, which for me is different than, like, the Buffy reboot, for instance, is TNG already had the movies. And there were missteps in the movies already. So just more from that universe is not enough to get me excited yet. Happens upon them, goes to attack, but the crew baits them away and flees with the goods. Crew baits them away. Baits them away. Best Patrick Stewart is Picard by far from the show. I mean, I'm very much of the in agreement with the Red Letter Media reviews where they said Pleased with the goods. Where they made Picard an action hero. Even in the good Star Trek movies, he's like First Contact, he's swinging around and, you know, it's not, you know, there are some words I've known since I was a school. Q, and this. You wanted to frighten us. We're frightened. You wanted to show us that we were inadequate for the moment. I grant that. You wanted me to say, I need you. I need you. He's not a character that wins the day with his philosophy and humility and all of that. You know, kills a bunch of Borgs with a Tommy gun. Hashtag not my Star Trek. Zoe, Wash, and Kaylee. The Alliance happens upon them, goes to attack, but the crew baits them away and flees with the goods. Philosophy and humility doesn't work on a Borg. It did in the past. Well, I mean, it's not strictly that. I mean, philosophy and humility was what the Q episode where they first meet the Borg. That speech I was doing was actually from that episode. Picard, like any other character, grows into violence. I don't know. In Best of Both Worlds, they defeat the Borg by putting them to sleep, and he's the one that does it. You know. And I think arguably the Borg were, like the Reavers, were more interesting when we knew less about them. And once you added the Queen, if you can't stand a little bloody nose, maybe you better go home and crawl under your bed. Where the Borg were more interesting, yeah, when we knew less about them. Once you added the Queen, I was like, I loved that actress. I thought she did a tremendous job in that, I almost said episode, movie.
I call this win.
Yeah, we win.
Right. Right.
We win.
Right.
It feels like a crime cutting this soundtrack, but copyright strikes are mean to me. Apply default transition. Remove that. Right. We win. I would argue that the action hero Picard was part of the portrayal of the degradation of his morality as he descends deeper into revenge. I think that's what they were shooting for, certainly. And then he had a insight and reverted back to himself after hearing the Moby Dick quote. It's fine. It's all fine. And I just didn't like it. It wasn't. That's not a Picard I like. And I still think First Contact is entertaining. I enjoyed Insurrection. I find Generations depressing, and Nemesis is obviously universally disliked. But that's just not what the movies did not really have the things that I went and watched the show for. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Insurrection is great. I think Insurrection is most like an episode compared to... It's slow and thoughtful, and, it has problems, but I think it's most like an episode from Next Generation. Generations was depressing. Kirk dies alone in the spoiler. Awful. Really? This is the best ending for Kirk? And Leonard Nimoy was like, I'm not showing up for this movie. On them, goes to attack, but the crew baits them away and flees with the goods.
I call this a win.
Right. We win.
Cue the... Yeah, maybe so make those fades a little bit longer. Undo. Come on now.
Right. We win.
Better. Did we do it? Did we make a difference? Well, kind of. Malcolm McDowell wasn't even the... I hate that so much. Goods. Goods.
I call this a win.
Right. We win.
Cue the... Better! Kirk's last lines, spoiler by the way, is also just disrespectful. Yeah, that movie is rough. We were here for Firefly, not Star Trek. Hey, when this guy's on the screen, you know you're going to get a little of both. I will awkwardly shoehorn Star Trek anywhere I can. Cue the opening credits for the first time. Cue the opening credits for the first time. The crew takes the case of metal bars back to Persephone to sell them.
There we are.
I love that it's food. Such a great detail. First time, the crew takes the case of metal bars back to Persephone to sell them. On the way, they pick up passengers, among them
Tense.
The man needs a break.
to sell them. On the way, they pick up passengers, among them Book. No.
This shouldn't take too long.
Stephanie to sell them. On the way, they pick up passengers, among them
I never married.
What?
Not a grandpa.
book. Changing the subject for just 1 second. Recently, like last night, watched your review for In the Dark, Angel. The ending of that was... Oh, yeah. That was, I guess, me getting more comfortable with the on-camera stuff. But a long time ago, someone had made that comparison. It looks like the vampire that tortures Angel, so I had to do it. Among them, book.
Not a grandpa.
Book.
Not a grandpa.
What do you want, Angel? But my hair was super scruffy at that point anyway, so yeah, it was due. Shiny, I remember watching Firefly in one sitting a couple of years ago, and I was hooked ever since. Whedon is a full-on genius. Yeah, it's good to be talking about a different show. Looking forward to this very much. I adore Firefly, so thanks, Ian. Most definitely. I need a thank you button. We'll go this way again.
Is everyone here very stoned?
What should the thank you button be? Can you believe the Watchers Council let this guy go? Sell them. On the way, they pick up passengers, among them Book.
Not a grandpa.
Inara. A little louder on that one. Passengers, among them Book.
Not a grandpa.
Among them Book.
Not
Book.
Not a grandpa.
Inara. And
light.
oh, you're welcome. Ah, that's great, John. Yeah, well, definitely. Need more angel bits anyway. Well, they pick her up on the planet. Not newly so, but yeah, they pick her up. That is a, On the way, they pick up passengers, among them Book.
Not a grandpa.
Inara. Yeah, it's just some of them were new and some of them were old. But she was on the planet waiting to be picked up. So I stand by my language. Inara and Simon with his unusual cargo. Back to insurrection. Oh, I'm gonna need a Star Trek bumper for every time we segue into Star Trek. I don't remember a Sagov, but yeah, I think that one got. If I make a mistake in one of the videos, it gets called out many times. I believe I don't remember if I left that in on purpose or not. Looking forward to this very much. I adore Firefly, so thank you, Ian. Most definitely, Luis. I appreciate it. Simon and his unusual cargo. I'm going to take a quick stretch break here in a minute and get more Red Bull. Beaming away. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for for editing. Yeah, most def. Thanks for hanging out.
God, she might just need it.
I still don't think the old lady's the way.
Not saying it won't be tricky. We got no kind of choice.
Buffalo or Mr.
Dobson.
Dobson.
Thanks. Gotta keep our heads down, do the job. Pray there ain't no more surprises.
Dandy-rific. They pick up passengers, among them Book,
Not a grandpa.
Inara, and Simon with his unusual cargo. Mal and company try and sell the goods back to Badger, and you're later than I like. That's true.
Didn't go wrong on our end, so why don't we...
Usual cargo. Mal and company try and sell the goods back to Badger.
You're later than I'd like.
I'm
Badger, and he refuses due to the Alliance taking an interest. Cargo. Mal and company try and sell the goods back to Badger, and he refuses due to the Alliance taking an interest, suggesting Mal hawk them to one of the colony planets.
Didn't ideas? Doesn't lead to you.
No, it doesn't. But the government's stamp on every molecule of the cargo just may be mine. Oh, you noticed that?
Interest, suggesting Mal hawk them to one of the colony planets. This might be a good time to explain the geography of this universe. For this, I'm going to be referring to the hidden... Gotta skip this section. The term verse refers to the system Houston first colonized, the hub of civilization. Outside the core planets are the border planets. These are the spokes on the wheel. You have the planets on the rim, most distant, wildest of them all. Hopefully that lends... There we go. From Alliance influence and wildest of them all. I'm a businessman, see?
What did you just say to me?
You're well aware we landed 2 hours before we planned to, with all the...
Hopefully that lends some clarity to the dialogue, but it also informs one of my favorite exchanges from the show after that lends some clarity to the dialogue, but it also informs one of my favorite exchanges from the show. After Badger refuses to buy the goods he contracted Mal to steal.
Wheel never stops turning, Badger.
That only matters to the people on the rim.
Too bad that's all his line is ADR. Mal to steal.
Wheel never stops turning, Badger.
That only matters to the people on the rim.
Mal to steal.
Wheel never stops turning, Badger.
That only matters to the people on the rim.
Forms one of my favorite exchanges from the show after
Only I think.
I'm a businessman. I wear dope suits. I have fur underwear. Badger's Tom Haverford. Hopefully that lends some clarity to the dialogue, but it also informs one of my favorite exchanges from the show after Badger refuses to buy the dialogue. But it also informs one of my favorite exchanges from the show after Badger refuses to buy the goods he contracted Mal to steal.
Wheel never stops turning, Badger.
That only matters to the people on the rim.
It could almost be a throw. It could almost be a throw. It could. Whoa! Why did I leave that in? It missed that bit of audio. Save.
On the rim.
It almost could be a throwaway, given the camera movement and Mark Shepard's casual delivery. But there is so much to that one line. Mal is using. There is so much. Come on now. To that one line. Mal is using a Chinese idiom, which is the wheel of life never stops turning, to tell Badger that his place of prominence on Persephone can only be temporary. Badger that his prominence on Persephone.
This man, see? Roots in the community.
Roots in the community. Add frame hold again, please. To tell Badger that his place of prominence on Persephone can only be temporary. Life. So you said it, audio. Manually removing every breath. Save. Only be temporary. Life is always in motion. Lovely. Life is always in motion. Badger. Let's just stick with that whole soundtrack.
Matters to the people. people on the rim.
It almost could be a throwaway, given the camera movement and Mark Shepard's casual delivery, but there is so much to that one line. Mal is using a Chinese idiom, which is "the wheel of life never stops turning," to tell Badger that his place of prominence on Persephone can only be temporary. Life is always in motion. Badger in turn flips the intended meaning of the phrase to being about the verse itself. Did I not edit this piece of audio? Hey Joshua. Welcome back. Badger in turn flips the intended meaning of the phrase. The phrase to being about the verse itself. Yep, gonna take a stretch break here in 7 minutes. Meaning of the phrase to being about the verse itself. Persephone, his planet, is at the edge of the core planets. Itself. Persephone, his planet, is at the edge of the core planets, the hub of the verse. And like the hub of the wheel spinning, things don't change that much. Hey, dance song. Sure, it may not say much. Well, it's mostly just me working. And then anyone who wants to hang out, chatting with each other. Oh, undo. Why do you think Inara chose that one Alliance officer if he was such a jerk? You mean the guy in this scene? I don't think he, I mean, how could she know he was going to say that? And he seemed fine until he got all snippy about it. Your clock's probably set to speed us and deny us of our fun. There's, there's a bit about, generally they don't recognize her as individual. Verse. And like the hub of the wheel spinning, things don't change that much. The Alliance worlds are static, dignified, especially dignified. What is your favorite season of Firefly? Too soon. Made me laugh. Of the verse, and like the hub of the wheel spinning, things don't change that much. The Alliance worlds are static, dignified, especially in comparison to life way out at the edge of the wheel. In this what's planet on the rim? Life way out on the rim. The verse, term, verse, count. The rim, far beyond the border to Kalidasa, the blue sun. The current border where the rim has developed with little influence. Need a rim planet. The white sun system, so... Must maintain factual accuracy. The term... system in which all human life... Right, exposed to 5 stars and... Blue sun. White sun. Georgia system. Red sun. The blue sun system. Meridian. Blue sun's first planet. Meridian boasts the high population. Mirror, we didn't see. Fury. Highgate. Is that from Heart of Gold? Yes, that is correct. Especially in comparison to life way out at the edge of the wheel, in this case, the rim planets. There's also a bit to unpack here about how the metaphor informs Mal's character, but we'll get to that in time. I think there was a war following the signal. Which signal? There's also... we'll just do a freeze frame. And save. Wow, look at how much work we still have to do. That looks like it's missing the... Oh! Are we missing bits? 301... 401, 501, 601. Oh. Yay, it's under 20 minutes. Woo. Oh, I see what you're saying. You would think Mal would sign up to join, wouldn't he? The wheel spinning, things don't change that much. The Alliance worlds are static, dignified, especially in comparison to life way out at the edge of the wheel, in this case, the rim planets. There's also a bit to unpack here about how the metaphor informs Mal's character, but we'll get to that in time.
It doesn't have to go this way.
That much. The Alliance worlds are static, dignified, especially in comparison to life way out at the edge of the wheel, in this case, the rim planets. There's also a bit to unpack here about how the metaphor informs... Darn it. Here about how the metaphor informs Mal's character, but we'll get to that in time. Wow, we went from 45 seconds cut to 5 minutes cut. Save. Here about how the metaphor informs Mal's character, but we'll get to that in time. I used to edit at a rate of 1 minute an hour. And oh, that's because I also skipped a big gap. Darn it, I was gonna be happy. All right, quick stretch break. Just a moment. I need to add more to the Patreon ratings.
This is from The River Runs Through It.
Alright, we'll be right back.
Norman McLean. Help, he said, is giving part of yourself to somebody who comes to accept it willingly and needs it badly. So it is, he said, using an old homiletic transition, that we can seldom help anybody. Either we don't know what part to give, or maybe we don't like to give any part of ourselves. And then, more often than not, the part that is needed is not wanted. And even more often, we do not have the part that is needed. For some time after my brother's death, my father struggled for more to hold on to. Are you sure you've told me everything about his death? He asked. I said, everything. It's not much, is it? No, I replied. But you can love completely without complete understanding. That I have known and preached, my father said. Then he asked, after you've finished your true story sometime, why don't you make up a story and the people to go with it? Only then will you understand what happened and why. It is those we live with and love and should know who elude us. Now nearly all those I loved and did not understand when I was young are dead, but I still reach out to them. Of course, now I'm too old to be much of a fisherman, and now, of course, I usually fish the big waters alone, although some friends think I shouldn't. Like many fly fishermen in western Montana, where the summer days are almost Arctic in length, I often do not start fishing until the cool of the evening. Then in the Arctic half-life of the canyon, all existence fades to a being with my soul and memories, and the sounds of the big Blackfoot River, and a 4-count rhythm, and the hope that a fish will rise. Eventually, all things merge into one, and a river runs through it. The river was cut by the world's great flood and runs over rocks from the basement of time. On some of the rocks are timeless raindrops. Under the rocks are the words, and some of the words are theirs. I am haunted by waters.
I just couldn't. My whole life has been about being a cop. If I'm not part of the force, it's like nothing I do means anything.
It doesn't
Doesn't what?
mean anything. In the greater scheme, in the big picture, nothing we do matters. There's no grand plan, no big win.
You seem kind of chipper about that.
Well, I guess I kind of worked it out. If there's no great glorious end to all this, if nothing we do matters, all that matters is what we do. Because that's all there is, what we do now, today. I fought for so long, for redemption, for reward, and finally just to beat the other guy, but I never got it.
And now you do.
Not all of it. All I want to do is help. I want to help because I don't think people should suffer as they do. Because if there is no bigger meaning, then the smallest act of kindness is the greatest thing in the world.
Yikes. Sounds like you had an epiphany.
I keep saying that, but nobody's listening.
Well, I'm pretty much convinced, since I'm alive to be convinced.
You know, Kate, you don't have to be a cop to be...
I'm okay. Anyway, I'm not headed towards another pillathon. I'm very grateful. I never thought you'd come for me, but I got cut a huge break, and I believe... I don't know what I believe, but I have faith. I think maybe we're not alone in this.
Why is that?
Because I never invited you in.
Good Night, Moon, by Margaret Wise Brown. In the great green room there was a telephone, and a red balloon, and a picture of the cow jumping over the moon. And there were 3 little bears sitting on chairs, and 2 little kittens in a pair of mittens. And a little toy house, and a young mouse, and a comb, and a brush, and a bowl full of mush, and a quiet old lady who was whispering, "Hush." Good night, room. Good night, moon. Good night, cow jumping over the moon. Good night, light, and the red balloon. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. Good night, kittens, and good night, mittens. Good night, clocks, and good night, socks. Good night, little house, and good night, mouse. Good night, comb, and good night, brush. Good night, nobody. Good night, mush. And good night to the old lady, whispering, hush. Good night, stars. Good night, air. And good night, noises everywhere. This is Henry's speech on St. Crispin's Day. What's he that wishes so? My cousin, Westmoreland? No, my fair cousin. If we are marked to die,
we are enough of your betrayals. Okay. The greater share of honor.
God's will, I pray thee, wish me.
Alright, stop. There we go. What's he that wishes so? My cousin, Westmoreland. If we are marked to die, we are enough. Leave it? Oh, you want to hear Henry? Whoa, that's... that was the wrong button. How did I do that? That's giant, Ian. Also, that should be behind there. There we go. Oh, I look thin. There we go. Looking hot. Scoot that over there slightly. No, I'm kidding. If we're being honest, it's probably right around there. I've been waiting for the St. Crispin's Day speech. So the Patreon switch accounts. Next break I take will be in 2 hours. I will start from the St. Crispin's Day speech. But the one of the Patreon bonuses is a reading, and I use that playlist as the break music. So where's the Patreon readings? There it is.
This is Henry's speech.
Here's Henry's speech, if you want to have a go. Alright, back to it. Oh, and I have a snack, so I'm going to eat on camera, which is like my least favorite thing to do in the whole wide world. But we got to get work done. Oh, and now an ASMR moment. Okay. Spinning, things don't change that much. The Alliance worlds are static, dignified, especially in comparison to life way out at the edge of the wheel. In this case, the rim planets. There's also... Actually, I think I kind of want to... Can we do this? In comparison to life way out at the edge of the wheel, in this case, the rim planets. There's also a bit to unpack here about how the metaphor informs Mal's character, but we'll get to that in time. One of the criticisms thrown at Whedon regularly is his... Have I ever actually read Romeo and Juliet? I have. It's probably my least favorite of the mainstream Shakespeare plays. Language aside, of course, which is always a treat. One of the criticisms...
Piss refusing to pay us our wage.
Romeo and Juliet or Hamlet, I think, would be his, most iconic. Mal's character, but we'll get to that in time. One of the criticisms thrown at Whedon regularly is his dialogue being a bit too clever, as in...
business.
I do cut, when I talk about dialogue being too clever, to Adam Baldwin calling him a puddle of piss. Maybe that's not the best shot, but I'm going to leave it in there. Whedon regularly is his dialogue being a bit too clever, as in unrealistic. While clever...
They might kill you. But you...
accidental, and I like it. There's a lot of edits like that. At Whedon regularly is his dialogue being a bit too clever, as in... Sorry for the eating sounds, but gotta eat. Actually, one of the criticisms thrown at Whedon regularly is his dialogue being a bit too clever. I'm actually going to move the edit to emphasize. At Whedon regularly is his dialogue being a bit too clever, as in unrealistic. While cleverness may be a reasonable observation to make, most people don't hear... While cleverness may be... Most people don't hear... Speaking of Shakespeare... file I didn't prep. When you can't walk, you crawl. And when you can't crawl, you find someone to carry. Serenity, and we... Sorry, I'm moving a file over right now. Should we use the Franco Zeffirelli Hamlet? Oh, yeah, we can put Mel Gibson in. The Kenneth Branagh Hamlet it is. Observation to make. Most people don't hear to be or not to be and say, why is he talking so funny with his word hole? Hamlet could just say, should I kill myself? Maybe. But the language elevates the art. Say, should I kill myself? Maybe. But the language elevates the art, and as hyperbolic as the Shakespearean comparison may be, I think it's apt. Mutant enemy dialogue has a rhythm, meter, and cleverness that may dialogue has a rhythm, meter, and cleverness that apparently Joss originally wrote Badger to be played by himself. That's interesting. I think Mark Shepard probably did a better job. But that would have been interesting.
Three excellent questions.
Oh, that's got to be a. As a matter of fact, yeah, that's got to be a button. Added to the to-do list. And as hyperbolic as the Shakespearean comparison may be, I think it's apt. Mutant enemy dialogue has a rhythm, meter, and cleverness that may transcend the realism that these characters are speaking it, but
Ready to stop talking.
All right, though. Last two jobs we had for a week.
the realism that these characters are speaking it, but works collectively with the shows to create something more meaningful and interesting.
You'll be awake. You'll be facing me, and you'll be armed.
Apt. Mutant enemy dialogue has a rhythm, meter, and cleverness that undo. I don't like it. We'll get back to that. Transcend the realism. See you, Josh. Transcend the realism that these characters are speaking it, but works collectively with the shows to create something more meaningful and interesting. Mal decides to take the cargo to one of the border planets and sell to patients.
She owns half that damn moon now. She can afford what we got, and she might just need it.
I still don't think the old lady...
Let me do the math here. Nothing, and then nothing.
So we find a buyer on Boros. There's gotta be
Boros is too big. It's crawling with the lions. They could just be waiting for us.
You really think Badger will sell us out to the feds?
He hasn't already.
The Lions catches us with government...
Those bike helmets are terrible.
goods. We'll lose the ship.
That's never gonna happen.
Sir, we could just dump the cargo.
No rotten way. We ain't had a job in weeks. We need... Stop talking.
Half a week tea. We got nothing saved. Taking on passengers won't help near enough. We don't get paid for this cargo. We don't have enough money to fuel the ship. Let alone keep her in repair. Should be dead in the water.
So we do like Badger said? The border planets?
I'm thinking Whitefall. Maybe talk to Patience.
Sir, we don't want to deal with Patience again.
Why not?
She shot you.
Well, yeah, she did a bit. Still.
So we...
I'm thinking Whitefall.
So we do like Badger said? The border planets?
I'm thinking Whitefall. Maybe talk to Patience.
Haven't seen Firefly yet. Not too sure I have the desire. Just my prerogative, I guess. However, it does help. I'm seeing Caleb, Jasmine, and Marcus. It does help.
Sir, we don't want to deal with Patience again.
Patience? Patience?
Sir, we don't want to deal with Patience again.
Why not?
She shot you.
Well, yeah, she did a bit. Still.
The irony of naming a trigger-happy character Patience just hit me. The doctor. Oh. There we go. There she is.
From you anytime soon.
Well, we may not have parted on the best of terms. Realize certain words were exchanged. Also, certain bullets. That's air through the engine. It's past. We're business people. Besides, your days of fighting over salvage rights are long behind you. What I hear, what are you, mayor now?
Just about. You told the truth about that cargo? Because your asking price has been too reasonable for that much treasure.
It's imprinted. Alliance. Hence the discount.
Oh, government goods, huh?
That doesn't work for you. No harm. Just thought you could choose.
Lions don't scare me. Just collate data, as they say.
Yeah, DeHoffrin is in it as well. Not the character, of course, the actor.
So?
The irony of naming a trigger...
Still.
The irony of naming a trigger-happy...
Still.
The irony of naming a trigger-happy character Patience just hit me. Mal just hit me. Mal lays down the rules of the ship, and... In Anne, she was in a hell dimension. That's the one.
Do you what there is anytime? What there is pretty standard fare, I guess. Protein and all the colors of the rainbow.
And, yeah, well, they refer to it as a hell dimension, and that's certainly the metaphor of the episode. What is hell but the total absence of hope? In Buffy's hell, after having killed Angel and becoming part 2, there's a statue of an angel strapped to a wall overlooking all of the suffering people, which is something that I forgot to mention in that video, and I wish I had.
Still.
The irony of naming a trigger-happy character Patience just hit me. Mal lays down the rules of the ship, and everyone gets acquainted. Mal introduces Inara to Book as their ambassador, and then... I don't think I mentioned the crucified angel in that video, but I mentioned it in Season 3. Yeah. Probably in the graduation day review when I summed everything up. Because it's a detail I actually missed. It was pointed out to me by one of you guys.
She's a whore.
Mal's way.
She's a whore, Shepard.
The term is companion.
No, someone sent it to me privately. It was not Guy. Patience just hit me. Mal lays down the rules of the ship, and everyone gets acquainted. Mal introduces Inara to Book as their ambassador, and then...
She's a whore, Shepard.
The moment might be one of Mal's uglier ones in the series. When did we see a crucified angel? It's now one of my favorite details from that episode. I'll show you. For how cool a detail it is on screen for a very short amount of time. There it is. Angel wings, strapped to the wall, or strapped to a cross. She sacrificed him to save the world. And of course, then, that image lords over her own personal hell, which is what the whole hell dimension is. Everyone grows old too fast, which is how she feels about herself and becoming the Slayer. The moment might be one of Mal's uglier ones in the series, putting Book in a series.
our ambassador. There's plenty of planets where we can let you dock without a decent companion on board.
Ones in the series, putting Book in a position to be uncomfortable because of his faith, while simultaneously deriding Inara and her
I'd have to say, this is the first time we've had a preacher on board.
Well, I wasn't expecting to see a state official either. Ambassador?
Good night. Yes, definitely. Go watch Firefly. Faith, while simultaneously deriding Inara and her chosen profession in one fell swoop. After a crack because of his faith, while simultaneously deriding Inara and her chosen profession in one fell swoop. After a crackling good dinner scene, Wash
Important thing is the spices. A man can live on
fell swoop. After a crackling good dinner scene, Wash discovers that they have a mole on board, and it was
Vortex hailed the nearest Alliance cruiser.
Tell me you scrambled it.
What the hell?
Wash discovers that they have a mole on board, and it was someone in the cargo hold. Scene, Wash discovers that they have a Wash discovers that they have a mole on board, and it was someone in the cargo hold. Maldex Simon.
Toothpaste?
That they work. One of the camera lights is hot, and the cat is laying right in front of it. The pirate guy from Dodgeball. Whatever gets you to watch it. Faith, while simultaneously deriding Inara and her chosen profession in one fell swoop. After a crackling good dinner scene, Wash discovers that they have a mole on board, and it was someone in the cargo hold. Maldex Simon, but it turns out he's not the one.
Son of a bitch.
Drop.
The doctor. cargo hold. Mal decks Simon, but it turns out he's not the one. A scuffle ensues, and Kaylee ensues, and Kaylee gets panicked. Gets panic shot. Jane, who just shot.
We'll see you in a minute. Work, work, work.
Move. Move.
Not gonna happen.
I ain't joking with you, preacher.
I love their relationship.
Jane, who just embarrassed Kaylee at dinner, is the first to go after the man who shot her.
That's a relationship I would have loved to see develop later in the series. That ain't nothing but a mosquito bite. We'll see you in a minute. This is for you.
Get out! Get out! Get out!
I hadn't pushed a button in a while. But no, come back. Hate that that's basically all anyone remembers of Dawn. Well, I'm gonna do it differently. I like Dawn fine. Not my favorite character, but I definitely don't despise her on the level that the crap that she gets on the internet.
And Kaylee gets panicked.
But I do love that quote, and I thought it was perfect for a button. It is funny to me how that meltdown always kind of struck me as realistic. A teenager wanting their privacy. That's true.
A scuffle ensues and Kaylee gets panic shot.
Wait, where is my volume control for that? There we go.
Kaylee gets panic shot. Jane, who just embarrassed Kaylee at dinner, is the first to go after the man who shot her.
Move.
Not gonna happen.
I ain't joking with you, preacher. Preacher.
Simon blackmails Mal into running.
Getting close to the end of the summary. Oh.
You're not gonna let her.
Yes, I am.
You can't. can't.
No way the feds will let us walk.
Then we dump him in a shuttle and leave him for them.
Everybody's so mad. It's okay, baby.
Do you know what a stomach wound does to a person?
I surely do.
Then you.
Everybody's so mad. Are you asking me to dance? It's one of my favorite lines in this episode.
With you, preacher.
Simon blackmails Mal into running, then extracts the bullet while Jane watches anxiously, and while Jane... Man, look at those eyebrows. So jealous. That is a handsome man. Then extracts the bullet while Jane watches anxiously and Mal into running, then extracts the bullet while Jane watches anxiously. That shot doesn't work. Alright. Let's see those eyebrows again. Yeah, there we go. Can you smell what Simon's cooking? Volume down.
Going with you, preacher.
Simon blackmails. It's the Alliance eyebrow. Except not. Blackmails Mal into running, then extracts the bullet while Jane watches anxiously, and when she's safe, Mal opens Simon's cargo. And 43 minutes. We're getting through the summary. Love it. Hey, Russell. Welcome back.
No, don't!
See you, Sagov. Yep. Hey Google, what's the temperature outside?
In Parker right now, it's 87.
Only 87 here. But it is hot upstairs. 2 fans blowing on me, I'm still sweating. Need to cut down on some of the bodily insulation I've got. But that sounds tiring. We may tease you a lot, but we got you on the spot. Welcome back. 92. Well, yeah, in Colorado, it's getting less and less a dry heat, but still reasonably so. My spring and fall, those are the best.
Going with you, preacher.
Simon blackmails Mal into running, then extracts the bullet while Jane watches anxiously, and when she's safe, Mal opens Simon's cargo. That's a reasonable, pretty good condensed version of that scene. I got a little tired of being cold this last winter. Usually winters are my favorite season too. Simon's cargo. And this is how we meet River.
Do seem a little.
100 where you are? Jeez. River. That's brutal.
Seem a little.
Simon explains that cargo. And this Huh. Cargo. And this is how we meet. Cargo. And this is how we meet River. Simon explains that River has been kidnapped by an Alliance experiment, and he went to save her in a famous bit of dialogue. Edit clip in Adobe Audition. When Josh shared the idea, as they wait to see if the Reavers will turn from the episode, Mal said, "Save her in a famous bit of dialogue." Yes.
Simon,
Simon explains that River has been kidnapped by an Alliance experiment, and he went to save her in a famous bit of dialogue from the episode. Mal.
I am very.
There it is.
I am very smart.
I love the editing in that sequence too.
I am very smart.
River. Simon explains that River has been kidnapped by an Alliance experiment, and he went to save her in a famous bit of dialogue from the episode. Whoa. Episode. Really? Save.
I am very smart.
Episode.
I am very smart.
Mal sets Jane on the episode. There it is. That waveform does not look like that from a distance. Widen that out slightly. Save.
Smart.
Mal sets Jane on the shooter, who tries to bribe him. And
He was non-specific as to how.
pain is scary. Episode.
I am very smart.
Mal sets Jane on the shooter, who tries to bribe him. Inara threatens to leave Serenity if Mal abandons the Tams. Oh, that's the Reaver bit. Gonna get me an ear, too.
You throw them out, I'm leaving too.
Bribe him. Inara threatens to leave Serenity if Mal abandons the Tams. A Reaver ship passes by. Reavers are like zombie space pirates. As they wait, pirates. A Reaver ship passes by. Reavers are like zombie space pirates. As they wait to see if the Reavers will turn on them, and Reavers will turn on them. Inara pulls out a syringe. The Reavers pass. The Reaver turn on them. Inara pulls out a syringe. The Reavers pass. Reavers will turn on them. Inara pulls out a syringe. The Reavers pass. Mal tells Simon that Kaylee is dead. Love that shot.
Everyone on this ship, even...
Essentially punching him for the third time this episode. It's a very... dead, essentially punching him for the third time this episode. It's a very weird joke from the perspective of the storytelling, and I'm pretty sure this is a real... Would you stay in a hotel that has sections made up to look like different spaceships? Is that even a question? Of course I would stay in a hotel with look like a giant spaceship. Of the storytelling, and I'm pretty sure this is a reenactment of the writer's room when Josh shared the idea, because the joke is also on the audience. The crew susses is also on the audience. The crew susses out that Patience is meaning to shoot Mal. Trap. Bing a... No, that's not what I meant to open. Is also on the audience. The crew susses out that Patience is...
You down some. Just a little effort to hide it would have been.
I believe that woman's planning to shoot me again.
The crew susses out that Patience... is meaning to shoot Mal.
I believe that woman...
Meaning to shoot Mal.
I believe that woman's planning to shoot me again.
Zoe says that with a little luck, they might... They might...
I believe that woman...
Sir, we don't have to deal with her.
Yes, we do.
Here's a little concept I've been working on. Why don't we shoot her first?
It is her turn.
It is
doesn't
her
guess what we
turn.
need either.
There's moons on this belt we ain't seen. We could try our luck with
Our
one.
luck?
Our luck with...
Our luck? You notice anything particular about our luck these past few days?
Love it. Love the shoes, love the hair, love it.
Our luck? Luck?
No, not a... Come on.
Luck? You notice anything particular about our luck these past few days?
Kaylee's shooter escapes and they might...
Our luck?
What are we at? 3 hours? Alright, I'll take a break in an hour.
Me again.
Zoe says that with a little luck... Zoe says that with a little luck, they might...
Our luck? You notice anything particular about our luck these past few days?
Kaylee's shooter escapes and...
I believe you're in more danger.
Why? The beating on the ground. I just want Buffy to stab his legs all over again. See my impression of Gandhi.
Days.
Kaylee's shooter escapes, and him hitting book like this makes me take Jane's side of things. Patient. Does he ever play a good guy? I don't know. Hey, bud, editing is rough. I don't know whether to give tips and feedback or just encouragement. A lot of times I have a design in my head that I'm shooting for while editing, and there's a lag. So mostly the reason the streams exist is to keep working. I don't go, I'm going to go play Dota Underlords for 10 minutes. 3 hours later.
One of those will feed a family for a month.
And if people want to hang out and get work done too, or watch, or whatever you want to do, it's just helpful to have the bosses watching. Patience double crosses as expected. The Reaver ship from earlier followed them. I think they made him do that so there would be absolutely no sympathy for him when Mal shot him. Yeah. Just killing time. It's always a pleasure in this room, even if I have never seen the show. Well, after this, we're doing The Real Me. So that should be a fun one. And one that won't take me forever and a day to write the script for. Jane's side of things. Patience double crosses as expected. The Reaver ship from earlier followed them. Mal puts a quick end to the shooter and...
So much.
It's a good community. Followed them. Mal puts a quick end to the shooter and wash like an agile little leaf on the wind. No dilly-dallying, damn it. Wow, that's harder to say than I expected. Need that cut on my desk by tomorrow morning. Or it's your ass! Well, in this case, it may literally be. I've actually been, it's just taken so long to get this script done. Are You Now will be a tough one. I'm actually going to start that script before I record I Will Remember You. Or at least attempt to. Mal puts a quick end to the shooter and wash like an agile little leaf on the wind. Crazy Ivan's the Reavers and saves the day. Hee hee. Yeah, the food swap is great. Wash like an agile little leaf on the wind. Crazy Ivan's the Reavers and saves the day. Mal intuits the deal the lawman tried to make with Jane.
Funny how the lawman got out of his room. You haven't tied him up so well at all.
I didn't have nothing to do with that. Anyhow, it all turned out just fine. Buzzard's the only one's gonna find him.
But he did try to make a deal with you, right?
I love that scene so much.
How come you didn't turn on me, Jane?
Money wasn't good enough.
So honest. What happens when it is?
How come you didn't turn on me, Jane?
Money wasn't good enough.
And the episode ends with Mal making Simon and River members of the crew.
So where do you plan on dumping us?
Those places you might be safe. Well, the truth, though, you're probably safer on the move. And we never stop moving.
I'm confused. No, wait, I think maybe you're confused.
May it become apparent to you that the ship could use a medic. You ain't weak. Don't know how bright you are, top 3%, but you ain't weak, and that's not nothing. You live by my rule, you keep your sister from doing anything crazy. You could maybe find a place here. Until you find a better.
I'm trying to put this as delicately as I can. How do I know you won't kill me in my sleep?
You don't know me, son, so let me explain this to you once. If I ever kill you, you'll be awake.
Well, undo. Well, undo.
Money wasn't good enough.
And the episode ends with Mal making Simon and River members of the crew. Summary finished. Good Lord. Correction, summary finished except for the universe geography part. Oh. How long is this one? 19 minutes. I don't know why I thought it was way longer than that. Alright. Here we go.
Enough.
And the episode ends with Mal making Simon and River members of the crew. Shang Shang the Gawan, is there a lot to go over here? I'm going to awkwardly shoehorn Mandarin into every review. Because it makes me cringe. Serenity of the episode is magic in the amount of information it manages to give us about the characters. Let's moon them.
Hang on, travelers.
This edit is...
Let's moon them.
That edit is always a little awkward to me. Is there a lot to go over here? Serenity of the episode is magic in the amount of information it manages to give us about the characters, how the universe of the show works, and what we can... Greetings from Australia. Thank you for your excellent channel.
Hello, cutie.
I mean that in not a weird way, but in a kind and happy and hello way. That's the only button that I have for hello. Hello, and thank you. Yeah, I need to get Cordy's You're Welcome going. Yeah, we do need a new hello. Me calling everyone cutie is a little inappropriate. What was the line? Characters, how the universe of the show works, and what... The Gawan, is there a lot to go over here? Serenity of the episode is magic in the amount of information it manages to give us about the characters, how the universe of the show works, and what we can look forward to in the coming season while still being a satisfying... How the universe of the show works, and what we can look forward to in the coming season while... That would be River. The River Tamara.
She was a gift.
Will there be a video schedule at some point? That is always an ambition of mine, but one I have not been able to accomplish so far. But I will never stop trying. The goal in my head is every other Friday right now. Information it manages to give us about the characters, how the universe of the show works, and what... I won't stop trying. What we can look forward to in the coming season while still being a satisfying episode itself. It's enough. Loosen up that lower back. Magic in the amount of information it manages to give us about the characters, how the universe of the show works, and what we can look forward to in the coming season while still being a satisfying episode itself. There's a little bit of clunk, but it... I really should be talking to somebody who is somebody. We'll get more Angel in for the next stream, which I'm guessing will be tomorrow. There's a little clunk. The doctor. Uh-oh. Oh. Thought Premiere crashed.
Sorry.
Satisfying episode itself. There's a little bit of clunk, but in general, the episode never feels as though it's dumping exposition on our heads and telling us how it was.
Come on, admit it, it's true.
I thought I had one that, with the intro, here's how it was, the Earth got used up.
High ground. Start picking them off.
Did you ever read the works of...
Here's how it was.
We are not alone. Forget what you think.
Just a moment, everyone. Must dive into my drive. Could have sworn I had those. Video shield. Alright, I give up. I'll add that to the to-do list to search for non-streaming. Oh, that's in the Hulu versions. Now I just want to verify for the sake of my own sanity. Search. That's it. Found it.
And hundreds of new Earths were terraformed and colonized. The Central Planets formed the Alliance. After the Earth was used up, we found a new solar system.
After the Earth was used up.
Here's how it is. Earth got used up.
Okay. I'll have to screen cap that. So Rabbit went away, and yet I'm still able to log in there. So is there any hope for that on the channel? I don't know. I don't know when their official shutdown date is. I thought it had already occurred. And you may be able to log in, but do any of the services work? While still being a satisfying episode. Itself. There's a little bit of clunk, but in general, the episode never feels as though it's dumping exposition on our heads and telling us how it was.
Just then, the doctor.
Standing right next to you.
Equipment's back on the boat.
And that's how it was, so to speak. Whedon just has the characters speak about the universe as though they've been living in it their entire lives. Script. That's the shot.
The goods must be intact.
Just has the so to speak. Whedon just has the characters speak about the universe as though they've been living in it their entire lives, with the exception of the I already highlighted the reverse section where you're cutting that. Reverse section, but we'll get into that. their lives. Most everything in the episode either emerges from or supports the characters, and
Going down? That's a nag. Doesn't look like they're interested in us. We should be eating wake in a minute or two.
Come on. Actually, let's go strawberries. I don't think I've used that shot yet. There we are. Though they've been living in it their entire lives. Most everything in the episode either emerges from or supports the characters, and at the center of it all is Malcolm himself. Ah, Rack and Willow, I like that. Creepy, but I like your reference. Someday we'll get to season 6. Oh. I think I'm gonna actually shut the stream down for dinner and then stream until I have to go get Jess from the airport. As though they've been living it. Not yet, in 30 minutes, just so everyone knows. In it their entire lives. Most everything in the episode either emerges from or supports the characters, and at the center of it all. At the center of it all is Malcolm himself. The episode's cold open puts a spotlight specifically on Mal. I have read The Stand. I haven't seen it. I tried reading it again, actually, just recently. And it was not what I remembered when I read it back in the early 2000s. It's still one of the best apocalypse stories. The way, I mean, it's one of the rare times I think his writing style really lends itself well to something, and that is that slow spread of the virus and the ways in which it shows up in all the scenes around people, first very casually, I do love that, but aspects of the book didn't hold up for me. It either emerges from or supports the characters, and at the center of it all is Malcolm himself. The episode's cold open puts a spotlight specifically on Mal, and the contrast between who he was during the war and Mal, and the contrast between who he was during the war and the man that was shaped after.
We win.
Right. We win.
God, he does such a good job. Asking the favorite character on this show is, to me, kind of as difficult as asking favorite character on Buffy. Oh, we were going to do Everybody's Making a Fuss. Yeah, I've got to do the video. Well, we'll see. Maybe I won't do video titles, or section titles.
Himself. The episode's cold open puts a spotlight specifically on Mal, and the contrast between who he was during the war and the man that was shaped after. The opening shows Mal as a humorous, faithful man. After. The opening shows Mal as a humorous, faithful man, loyal to his soldiers with a dash of hopeful optimism.
Just a little while longer. Our angels are going to be soaring overhead, rain and fire on those arrogant gods. So you.
Angels. The angels never came.
And the man that was shaped after. The opening shows Mal as a humorous, faithful man, loyal to his soldiers. Loyal to his. The opening shows Mal as a humorous, faithful man, loyal to his soldiers with a dash of hopeful optimism. He is planet-bound and defending his stake in the dirt. He is planet-bound and defending his stake in the dirt. 6 years after the loss in... It does look like a Sega CD game. Ah, you're thinking of Sewer Shark. Shoot the tubes, dog meat. Apply default transitional. Full optimism. He is planet-bound and defending... I need to do more video game streams. His stake in the dirt. 6 years after the loss in Serenity Valley, a very different Mal is captaining the Serenity.
Just done for departure in about 3 hours. Grab.
Stake in the dirt. 6 years after the loss in Serenity Valley, a very different Mal is captaining the Serenity, one who has lost his faith. His faith.
To visit the dining area anytime. Apart from that, I have to ask.
Medical supplies.
Rosemary. Captain, you mind if I say grace?
Only if you say it out loud.
One who has lost his faith.
Mind if I say grace?
Only if you say it out loud.
Wait. Unlink. Serenity, one who has lost his faith.
Mind if I say grace?
Only if you say it out loud.
His hopeful optimism. I really wish Mal wasn't so mean. Well, I think it was intended to be a part of the character he develops out of. You know, a sort of young Buffy. You know, he just didn't get the chance to take that journey all the way. But we Need him to be able to change from something for a good arc.
This belt we ain't seen. We could try our luck with one.
Our luck?
I love the when the It movie came out. I was actually doing a Firefly rewatch, and during the rewatch,
A sign of a struggle.
there's a red balloon in Bushwhacked, and that episode is really tense. But I think I may have just crashed Premiere again. Must order faster hard drive. Save. Yep, everything's locked up. Come on. Yep, it's crashed. Come on. Close window. Oh. End process. Whoa, okay. Oh, there we go. Everything locked up for just a minute. I think I'm actually, we were 10 minutes from me taking a break for dinner anyway, and I think I'm going to actually kill the stream for an hour while I go eat. And then I'll be back. But, yeah, it seems like a good stopping point for now anyway. If you're around later on, I will be here. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out. And I'm guessing another stream this evening, and then should be able to get everything done tomorrow. So this will publish mercifully. This one's been a pain. All right. Cheers, everyone.